Namaste people, welcome to the show Get Set Green. I'm your host Pooja R V. This podcast was created as a part of Podcast Lab by India Film Project in association with Anchor by Spotify. You must have heard about sericulture, horticulture, but do you know what is permaculture? So permaculture is an approach to land management and settlement design that adopts arrangements observed in flourishing natural ecosystems. So today we have Ramesh, who is the founder of Tribe Permaculture, with us to help us understand what it is and why is it needed. Welcome to the show, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, awesome. Happy to hear that you are associated with many people. I didn't know that.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, as you spoke, it's permaculture.
Hmm.
Permaculture. So two terms. It has
Yeah.
taken from the two terms. One is permanent. So the
Okay.
word perma taken by permanent, and the culture is another word. So permaculture, permanent culture. The meaning of it is permanent culture. So
Okay.
when we say permanent culture, usually what do we understand? Because people may say that nothing is permanent in this world. Yeah. So what exactly do you mean by permanence? So here in 1972, in 1970s,
Yeah.
basically Bill Mollison and David, they are from Australia. They
Okay.
came across this. They invented this word, new terminology, and new word. But the techniques are already there. They are collected from different parts of the world. Like there are so many techniques, which are naturally, without harming nature, being in harmony with nature. How can we design our spaces, get more productivity out of it, be in harmony with nature, be in sync with nature, not against it.
Yeah.
So when they were in 1970s itself, because they are in a country like Australia, there is huge monocropping happening, like sugarcane, like 1,000 acres of sugarcane, 2,000 acres
Yeah.
of sugarcane.
Correct.
So that sugarcane, it will, when they use fertilizer, they kill all the life on this, like in the soil, and in the soil both. So basically it will degrade the soil.
Correct.
And once the crop is done, once they are preparing the soil again in the summertime. In the summertime they'll prepare. When they are doing it, usually even India also, usually in the summer what they do, they plow the land and get ready for the monsoon.
Yeah.
Usually whoever is growing the annual crops, that is what they do. So in that process, in the summer there is a lot of hot winds, right? So these hot winds will erode a lot of topsoil. So we are losing topsoil, we are degrading topsoil by adding fertilizers and etc. And by using monocrops like sugarcane, how much sugar do we use usually in our day? Like entire day, how much sugar do we use in our day? That itself will give you answer how much sugarcane is being produced across the world, right? And how much rice do we eat, being in South India especially. So when we are eating, permaculture is not just about agriculture, it's about entire lifestyle. It's about entire lifestyle. In every aspect of your life, how you can live more sustainably and in harmony with nature without harming nature. Least impact,
Yeah.
I can say.
Correct.
As much as we can. So it's not just about growing food or taking care of the animals or generating some income or designing a good landscape. It is not just that, it's much more deeper than what we can see. We talk about localization, whatever the resources you would like to use in your farm, if you resource everything, like whatever the material you need, if you can source them around you,
Yeah.
you cut down lot of energy there, which is called embodied energy. So embodied energy, let's say you have a cornflakes, like morning breakfast, so many people
Okay.
eat like cornflakes. To make that, what all the things are involved, how much fuel you are using, what is the main source of it, corn, and to make that processing, where all it will go. Like there is one example recently I have seen in Instagram. The fruit is grown in Thailand and it has gone to America just for packing, and it is sold back in Thailand.
Oh God.
So that's madness, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically globalizing things, marketing things, there is so much drama in between. Just just even if you take our daily goods, from farmer farmer to consumer, if it comes directly, there is a lot of, like, let's say some people in your village or my village, they are growing food.
Yeah.
And if they sell it directly there, a lot of energy is saved there. But rather they take it to market, then supermarket, then local market, then to your house. But the tomato which is grown next to you is going to the market and all the way coming back to you, which is adding a lot of cost to it.
Correct.
So here, this is culture. What we are talking is culture. Like, in olden days, what was the culture? They used to grow their own food, right?
Yeah.
And eat. But now the culture is mostly we go out to the market and get it.
Correct.
Right? So here, permanent culture. Permanence is something, like, let's say you are doing some agroforestry, or like, majorly tree based systems. System. Let's say if you have a plant, moringa, or like, drumsticks we call it.
Okay.
So if you have that particular plant, that is a vegetable, right? You use it as a vegetable, which you plant only once, but you can harvest, like, more than 6 years, 7 years, if you like, properly manage it. But wherein, if you have a tomato plant, you can harvest for only 3 months. Right? If you grow more tomatoes, then you invest lot of energy there. The permanency is less, and there is a lot of management involved there. But rather, if you have more plants which will produce more than 2 years, then the work is less. Then you are creating a lot of permanence there. So basically, here permanence you are creating by the, even in terms of buildings, even in any product you take, if you increase the lifetime of it, like, like shelf life basically, and everything, so you create the permanence, and you follow it as culture. Like, people and nature, you combine together their lifestyles and everything. You work with people and nature together, and that is how it goes. Like, you just make sure that it goes to according to the, like, ethics. We have ethics in permaculture. They are like earth care, people care, and fair share. So whatever you do in the system or design, or in a community, wherever you are working with, or in a school, or like anything, first you make sure you are following all the ethics. So then, like, we have so much into it, but like, simply it's permanent culture, permanent agriculture, permanent culture.
Okay, so when it comes to, like, as you mentioned, in schools and all those things and ethics, like, what exactly do you mean? Ethics in the sense, how the working in a, let's take for example school only, how the students or the teachers who are working there are, like, is it concerned with them, like, ethics related to them, or like, do you mean by the total infrastructure, building and construction, and how it is managed in that way? Like, do you wanted to say?
So you can add this everywhere, literally everywhere, even in day-to-day life. So the ethics which I have mentioned is earth care, people care, and fair share. Let me explain a little more about it, then maybe you will understand it. So what I mean by earth care is, whatever the actions you are doing in your daily life, whatever it is, be it you are using water, rather, like, taking shower with 1 bucket of water, if you are taking 3-4 buckets of water just for the pleasure, and if you are just simply draining it to the drainage and municipal, and, like, wasting the water, that is not ethical. That is not ethical.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you be mindful, conscious about whatever you are doing in your daily life. So when it comes to the schools, as you asked, so let's say they have a small space, like, along with the building, they also have, like, these days so many schools are involving agriculture into their curriculums, right? Like, especially after COVID, like, so many people are involving agriculture into this curriculum. So here, if they have a small garden, like, usually the farmers, whatever the insect they see, they will simply use the pesticide and kill it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So from the very early age, if a children see, like, what is these insects, what do they do, what is their role in the nature, in the ecosystem, how do they function, and what is really ethical is, like, thinking about the soil, thinking about the water, thinking about the other life, thinking about the humans around you and their health, obviously, and how all this is interlinked. How many people really know that, like, the soil bacteria, the bacteria which is in the soil, can help our gut? Like, if you have a good bacteria in your soil, if you eat food from that, you will have a healthy gut.
Yeah.
How many people do, right? Very few know it.
Yeah.
So these kind of things they should know from the very very early age. I mean, it's not should, but if they know, it will be, like, a benefit for them.
Yeah.
So then we'll come to people care. Like, even in people care, like, we think that we are caring every person, but by the lifestyle, we don't even know what are all the things we are doing for ourselves. Like let's say I know a farmer who have 100 acres. He is growing entire 100 acres cotton, but he is not growing food for himself. So only economics is driving him.
Correct.
Not any other factor is driving him, right? So these little things, if you combine, and especially we use the word community. In permaculture we use the word community because that is where people care. You see a lot of people care. Like let's say, uh, in India especially, so many people migrate. Like if you see from Mahbub Nagar, like there is one place in called Mahbub Nagar in Telangana. So in so many places there is drought occurring. Drought means there is no rainfall for like long period of time. So there is no rainfall and there is no groundwater. They can't really do anything with the land. And majorly who are farmers who are completely dependent on land, they don't have any other work, so they migrate to cities. But the farmer who have more water in the same Mahbub Nagar, what he does, he will grow paddy. He don't care about the other farmers at all. He has water, so he will grow paddy. But the others, whoever is unable to tap that aquifer or groundwater, they are migrating to other places. How can we create resilience here only with nature? Here you need people also. You need a lot of people, combination of people. You need to give hand to other people also. Okay, you come work with me, I'll give livelihood to you, you give livelihood to me, I'll share the seed with you, you share the water with me. So all these things were there before. They were there before. Like the culture was there before, but now we lost that permanency and the culture both, right? So again we are just going back to the roots kind of thing, but there is no going back, it's only going forward. So we go forward. We talk to people who are interested in this kind of lifestyle and everything, then we'll take it further from there. So that is people care. And fair share, like, so every ethic which I'm mentioning, we can elaborate it for like days. It can just go on. But here I'm just giving a brief whatever I could, in the given time. So fair share means, let's say you have a mango tree, right? And you get like 70 mangoes. What do you do? How many mangoes do you harvest?
Let's come at this once again. Like I have already, right, 70 mangoes.
So for a tree, you have a mango tree,
Okay.
and you have 70 mangoes to it.
Okay.
How many do you harvest? All of them are ripen.
Harvest in the sense I already got the fruits. That means that I harvested the mango tree, right?
You have it to the tree.
Okay. And I'm clearly not getting an idea like how harvest means here. Like in the terms of growing the tree or like after getting that fruit. Like
Harvesting is collecting.
Okay. Okay.
Taking from the tree.
Okay. So you are asking me how much will I harvest from the 70?
Yeah.
I guess around 30 or 40.
Why?
Because some will fall down before only, or some will be rotten, or some will be eaten by insects or birds or something like that. I added those probabilities.
So basically here, one good thing you mentioned about is the birds, insects and everything, right? So but in a daily thing, normal thing, if they see the pest, they will use the pesticide. If they see the bird, they will use the traps. If they see animals, they will make sure that the animals are not coming. So this is a common practice in farming nowadays. It's a very common practice. Like though they have a lot of mangoes, like entire farm is like mangoes, still they don't want monkeys to enter and eat. Yeah, they do the damage, I am sure. I'm not denying the fact. But how much we should involve them and how much we should not involve them, we should think about, because they are also part of nature and they don't have any other food. Because in the forest, the forests are being burnt. They every day the forests are the story of India at least. Like every day, the forest departments and everything, they because of the people need, that is what they say, because of the development, I don't know what kind of development it is, because of the development they cut down the forest. Every day we, like, as the fact says, every day one football court size forest is, like, it's not every day, every second, I think, every second or
What?
every minute.
Every second? Seriously, it's
Yeah.
like I can't even like imagine that number, like the amount of area of a football court is quite huge.
Yeah. So I don't know if it is 1 second or 1 minute or 1 hour or 1 day, but even if it is for 1 day, it's a lot.
Yeah, I hope it's one day.
Yeah, even I do hope, but I think it's less. Somewhere it's less. So there are so many other factors. Even the life is, like, being degraded. Like, about the extinction, right? So many animals are
Yeah,
being extincted. So many
yeah.
birds are being extincted, and insects are being extincted because they are losing their habitats.
Correct.
And when they are entering into the artificial habitats made by the humans,
Hmm.
there also they don't have a security,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So here nobody is thinking about that fair share with the other life. So here in permaculture, what we say, one of the ethic, you fairly share with the other people, other animals, insects, whatever the life you are living with. So these are the ethics.
Okay.
So like, if we get into the topic of permaculture itself, that is gonna take days. But I just wanted to, like, give a brief about the ethics, because that's very important. Like, even a normal man, if they can really give it a thought to these three things itself, it becomes a big thing. Yeah.
So it's like I really understood now, I got a hang of it, like totally understood in this proper explanation. It may be earth care, people care, and fair share. Coming to the fact that, listening to these things, what I felt is like we have missed the concept only. As you rightly mentioned, when we see an insect, the main response from us right now is to kill it. Even it is in fields or like it's somewhere else. So how,
Yeah.
like it has become our inbuilt behavior right now.
Culture.
Yeah,
A
culture.
culture.
Culture. Okay. So I was just wondering like how it's affecting this ecosystem tremendously, right? Because even that one
Yeah.
single insect is required in so many ways for to maintain all this
I am
ecosystem.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really understood, like even small things matter a lot.
Yes, they do. Everything has its own role in the ecosystem and in the
Yeah,
planet.
very true.
But
And
we are just overtaking the things
yeah, seriously.
just
And
because we are humans.
that's true. I totally agree with this, like each and everything on this planet has its own significance, and we cannot say like something is useful and something is not useful. At least to some extent where we are benefiting from it, not like it's
Yeah.
for us. So yeah, that was
Yes.
totally good and in-depth explanation of permaculture.
Thank you for listening. Listen to the next part of this episode in the next episode.